Okay, this is the second take. Little side note. My first attempt at trying to record this chapter, I was mumbling. The tone of my voice just stayed monotone. So I had to delete that and thought, right, I might as well just redo this chapter. It's probably because I'm a little tired, to be fair, as well. So, but nevertheless, second time's a charm. Chapter 10. A defender and a suitable punishment. After finding out Will uploaded all the pranks we did around school to then not only document it, but publicise it for the whole world to see, I couldn't help but notice a strong, eerie atmosphere later that day. I don't recall the events of that day moment by moment, but I do remember towards the end of the dinner break, Alex got some food in the cafeteria and I joined him. We was going to regroup with the rest of our friends, but we both realised we were nearing towards the end of our break. I could always tell when Alex was either unnerved, angry, or just downright upset, as he would always stir into nothingness, then let out a slight chuckle as if to amuse himself, or even to try and make himself feel better. He asked me to join him while he queued up for his dinner break, hence why I was there, to keep him company. But he seemingly seemed more concerned about what lay ahead than I did, given that we had all just been interrogated by our head of year and Sloan. Because I could clearly see Alex was distressed, I thought best not to speak first. Then he spoke. I cannot believe what he did. I knew straight away who he was referring to. For the first time in a long time, I didn't know how to respond. Should I just nod in agreement, or say something to make him feel better? But the truth was, I didn't know what to say, because in truth, I felt exactly the same. The following week contained a series of meetings of trying to decide what to do with us specifically. Me looking back, it seemed that even though nearly a dozen of us was involved, they seemed keen on the notion that I, above all, should not go without punishment. Little side note, as I write this without saying any names, I spoke to someone about this particular situation I faced when I was 15, and the person, for whom I will not mention, strongly suggested that as certain people knew of my background, they could have felt that I was the easiest target to set an example for. So even though that we all committed the same crime, so to speak, maybe they felt no one would defend my case and protect me. I was the safest target to punish, in other words. But alas, this is mere speculation, and should be noted that I have no true evidence to prove the suggestion the unnamed person made. But what I can say is the following weeks after the inquisitive meeting took place, things seemingly unchanged. We all went through what appeared to be a week of hell in terms of me and my friends, in our own way. But my future seemed to be more in question than the others. But a couple of days after the meeting, it was as if nothing ever took place. No one even mentioned it to me. The only people that did seem keen to mention was my peers as they looked back. Perhaps those that would be keen to see my head on the chopping block, as it were, realised I was more protected than they anticipated. I remember my mum would stand by me and even sometimes stand up before the teachers, who would in some cases like to portray themselves as both judge and jury, even though in a lot of cases she knew I was in the wrong. This one, I don't know why I put this one, that didn't stop my mother doing her duty and protecting what she considered to be her son. If anyone has ever wondered what my relationship was like with my mother, the woman who brought me up during my teenage years, I would like to compare the very similar dynamic to the father-son relationship to what Star-Lord had with Yondu, the blue alien from Guardians of the Galaxy. Very similar people in some ways, often clash in others when I grew up frequently, and a lot of the times give me a stern talking to when I needed it, but would always protect me when she felt like I was in danger. I will always thank her for that. But we did not all escape the realms of punishment. I could be wrong saying this, but if my memory serves, we all each had different types of punishment. Some received detention, others received suspension for a couple of days. But for me, it was almost as if this punishment was perfect for a creative and performing soul like mine. I had to go to school half an hour before everybody else for the best part of a week, in a new devised method of punishment called the isolation room, where I was forbidden to talk or see anybody, except for one person who was in charge of this particular room. I had to have my breaks separate from anybody else. It was almost as if they knew I would only thrive in the company of others. And here in this dark-lit room, where I was sat on a desk where they even turned in an extremely narrow stall, so I could not even see the walls of this room. Forbidden to socialise with anybody. I could not distract anybody else, so no danger of that happening. It was almost as if they found my weakness, and that weakness in itself was only feeling safe around other people. They wanted to punish me. I would say they did so in spectacular fashion. Hope you enjoyed this chapter, and as always, Dancing Bear out.